Do 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 do, and we should be live. I think. All right, let's type that in real quick. Live, and here we go. Hey everybody, Adrian here. Welcome back to the channel and to another Final Fantasy XIV stream. I have finished the Heavensward expansion last week, and I do want to talk about it somewhat. I'm saving like my full thoughts for a separate video where I really want to get into it in detail and talk about my experiences, but I will recap some of that in stream. First of all, to everybody in chat and watching in stream, hello everybody, hope you guys are doing good, hope you guys are having a good weekend. To Lord Midichlorian and Nick Scryer in chat, how you folks doing? Nick says, awesome, happy Mother's Day. That is indeed right. Happy Mother's Day in our part of the world to all mothers out there. Lord Midichlorian says, good, I finally decided to subscribe and get Heavensward free and pre-ordered Shadowbringers. Awesome, man. This is where the music plays. Da, 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 da. You've done it. Welcome back to Final Fantasy. Light21 says hello. Hello Light21, how you doing? We got Mazidi in chat says hi Adrian. Hello Mazidi. Hope you've had a good pause this season so far. We have Francesca in chat. Happy Mother's Day. Thank you. Although I'm not a mother, but yeah, happy Mother's Day. All right, so what we're going to do today, first of all, I just want to set the scene. This is not going to be another 2-3 hour stream. Unfortunately, I have to get back to work tonight. I have about 2 videos to put out. One of them is in fact a news drop video that I've been working on, but because it's a difficult day to work on today, Sunday, I had to skip it. So I will be, well, I don't think I'll be sleeping tonight, so you guys should see that news drop video maybe 2 or 3 hours after the stream ends. It's some pretty good news too. We got Age of Conan in there. Astalia has got some news coming out, so that kind of explains why I did not get a chance to put out anything. Anyway, let's go and chat some more. Mazidi says, "How's your fasting?" Bro, I don't fast, of course, because I am not a Malay. I'm not a Muslim, so I don't fast, even though I look like one. And there's a story there because I am mixed. I am a child of cultural. I don't know what's the term for it. Let's just call me a mixed kid. Michael says, hey Jerem, hello, happy Mother's Day to all people. Jeremy, I hope after talking to us how you love Heavensward, we'll still see you do a proper review down the line. That's the plan, Michael. That is indeed the plan. So let's talk about it. Heavensward is a fantastic narrative experience that on its own, story-wise, is good enough to be its own animated short movie or something. And it was engaging from start to finish. The patch 2.1 to 2.55 was basically an entire 100+ quests of like scene setters. And when you get into the expansion proper, you are set up so nicely. The pacing felt right. The side quests, you could do them if you want, or you could skip through them. Doesn't really affect. Yeah, I mean, some of it has some tidbits about how the people of Ishgard kind of react to you at the beginning, and then as the more you help them out, the more you learn about some of these people and some of the background story. But the main story does enough to tell the full happenings here. The dragon war between man and dragon. Amazing. Should I get into spoiler territory here? Because I'm going to go and move on. Where am I? I am in, I guess this is the prerequisites for the Stormblood expansion, which is Final Fantasy XIV's second expansion. And there are about 44 quests in this quest chain. I think it's called the Dragon Song War quest or something like that. And once I'm done with this 44 quests, I will be in the Stormblood expansion. So what happened here? Are mankind and dragons still at war? The answer is a bit complicated. So if you've been catching my previous streams, you would have seen people come into play like the Azure Dragoon, Estinian, who I just love Estinian, I think is great as a character. And then you got Lady Iceheart as well, who started off as sort of an antagonist, and then we fight her as a primal, because she kind of summons a version of Shiva that isn't exactly Shiva, it's just kind of like a poltergeist, I guess is the best way to put it. Anyway, both of them have unfortunate, well, spoiler territory here, but both of them have unfortunate endings. Lady Iceheart sacrifices herself so that we can get into that Aziz's Law, the reactor area, and stop the Archbishop, who turns out to be the prime antagonist in this expansion. He's the main baddie because he knew all along that the war between dragons and man was a setup. It was man's fault that we got into that war, honestly. So this entire religion of the Holy See and, you know, people. This crusade against dragons for thousands and thousands of years was built upon a lie. And unfortunately, on the dragon's side, Nidhogg is one of those, you know, dragons that took it very personally because his sister or whatever got killed. So he's on a vengeful quest, and all of this comes to head at the end, the climax of the dragon, of the Heavensward expansion, and it was pretty epic. Absolutely brilliant. The last 2 dungeons, the 1 dungeon and the 1 trial, which I did, and I had so much fun in that. It was a great narrative closure for me because Heavensward really got me going story-wise, so to see that come full circle in those 2 instances was epic. I wish I could have streamed that, but because I'm short of time, I can't stream every day, so I had to do that off stream, but I loved it. I did record all that stuff, so hopefully I'll put out a review for that. Let's move on in chat. Dominic says, was good to know. We got Lim in chat says, hi there, stream Sunday. Yep, welcome back. We got Jared in chat. Hey, Jared says, happy Mother's Day. Same to all mothers out there. Ziti says, sorry bro, I don't know. You really look like Malay. Yeah, I get that a lot. And Arlen says, so glad you're enjoying Heavensward. Yeah, it's pretty good. Close to Stormblood, that was quick. Yeah, I mean, what can I do? Once I like something, I am not going to, you know, stop halfway. I'm just going to see it through. Jared says, do not forget your mom before your work. Yeah, that's why the stream was a little delayed. We just had dinner, so that's that. Michael says, hope you got the time to do all the main quests, but some public dungeons and primals. Yes, that's the plan. I mean, there's some that I have to unlock on the way, and I will do that during the week. Anyway, let's get into tonight's stream and what's going on. So, Lady Iceheart's gone. Estinian, on the other hand, he has turned into sort of a Nidhogg, because he, at the end of the final trial in Heavensward, he had one of Nidhogg's eye, and then he got the other Nidhogg eye, and unfortunately that was enough for Nidhogg's spirit to kind of take over Estinian, the Azure Dragoon, and now he's Nidhogg incarnate. So he's gone off, and Midgard Summer came to Ishgard right at the end of Heavensward, and together we have vowed to stop Nidhogg at all costs. And Ishgard has finally joined the Alliance. So that's cool. So we finally, one of the things that we decided, you know, us the Scions, was to try and get Ishgard back into the Alliance, which has Gridania, Limsa, Lominsa, and what's the other one? Ul'dah, and now they're here. So that's pretty cool. So what are we doing in this pre-reqs for Stormblood? We're going to go and find the other Scions that are missing. So as the description here says, Philemon, Ida, and Papilimo, and Minfilia as well, and Thancred. So that's what we're going to go do. Some scholar wants to meet us, who may have information on their whereabouts, and I'm just going to follow this quest chain through. So let's go. And I'll be checking in chat. We got Omega Legion says, it hasn't come full circle yet, just wait. Ah, yes. I'm happy to wait. I mean, we've got, what, a month ago now? A month and a half? There should be more than enough time, because I still have Guild Wars 2 to cover, which is coming out in 3 days, by the way, for those of you that play Guild Wars 2 as well. And then the Elder Scrolls Online, next Tuesday is their expansion, so it's like, oh my god, I'm rushing to get things done. Okay, the Lord Commander's within. Pray proceed, miss. So, not Alfie now. Lord Emmerich has taken over sort of like duties, I suppose, since his father, yes, I don't think this was on stream, but his father is the Archbishop who becomes like King Baradhor, whatever, and Emmerich is the bastard son. So I'm not sure if that was on stream.
Thank you for coming. I wish to speak with you both in a place where privacy was assured.
We quite understand. What was it that you wished to discuss?
With my father's passing, the seat of the Archbishop lies vacant.
Take it over.
And so, in accordance with canon law, I have assumed his responsibilities.
As expected.
I should stress that this is a temporary measure. It was never intended that the Lord Commander of the Temple Knights serve in this capacity indefinitely. Quite the opposite. The statutes specify that I should surrender my powers as soon as a conclave of the senior clergy and the high houses have named a new archbishop. But in light of recent events, that would not seem appropriate.
I confess I did not expect you to divulge quite so much quite so soon. The details of the Archbishop's plans, perhaps, but the true origin of the war and all it entails?
I too had concerns. But when the Warrior of Light is witnessed returning to the capital upon the back of a dragon, one's options are rather limited.
Oh yeah,
Mayhap I could have concealed certain details, but for how long? And at what risk? Should the truth have come to light in the meantime, how would the people have viewed my silence? After 1,000 years of lies and secrecy, I could not well abuse their trust and hope to be believed. The time for deception has passed. I only wish the people agreed. That some would deny the truth I had anticipated, but not this many. And among the few who acknowledged that my father had to be stopped, no small number question our methods.
If they suspect a coup, it will not be long before some turn to violence.
It has already begun, and that on both sides. Men and women of the cloth are being harassed in the streets. Some have even been assaulted in the Broom. Hilda and her people have formed a watch to help us maintain order. But such measures will not prevent the unrest from spreading.
For all our talk of peace, the people remain frightened and confused. For their sake, we must bring the Dragonsong War to a definitive end.
And we should be glad to help you, Sir Emmerich. But what precisely would you have us do?
We wish to treat with the dragons of Annex Trine. To that end, I would trouble you for an escort and an introduction.
Annex Trine? You would speak with Vidofnir, then?
Sounds familiar.
We must needs open a dialogue between our peoples. Acting as my representative, Lucia will extend an invitation to their leader, that she might visit us here in Ishgard. Were she still with us, I would of course have beseeched Isel's assistance in this matter. But as she is not, I must ask that you aid us in her stead. Will you do us this favor?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, my friends. Lucia, I leave the rest to you.
Alright, interesting start to the pre-req so far. I'm not deep in. This is like my second quest in the Dragonsong War series. So that's 42 to go or something like that. But yeah, now it's how do we pick up the pieces after that big old finale.
In the wake of the Archbishop's fall, the nation of Ishgard trembled, the faith of her people shaken to its very core. For 1,000 years had they fought and died, certain of the justice of their cause, only to be told that their holy war was born of the sins of their forefathers. What then for those brave men and women, thus stripped of their righteousness but to despair, to deny the truth and decry its speakers? And what then for those whom they defamed but to hope on, to have faith in a brighter tomorrow? A tomorrow in which man and dragon might live together in harmony, then as distant as the very stars in the heavens.
Great. They kept the third person narrative dude. I like that. I like him a lot. Really adds some depth to the storytelling. Oh, we're not done yet.
Yet while we dared to hope, deep within his lair the enemy lay, gathering his strength. Nidhogg, now possessed of his 2 eyes and the body of the Azure Dragoon, prizes to which he had laid claim at the very hour of the hero's triumph. As desperately as we sought the solace of peace, the great worm craved the misery of war. Nor was he alone in his misbegotten desire.
Excellent, yeah. That kind of did my work for me. I didn't have to do the entire recap. That was pretty good. And I think necessary too, because if I'm not mistaken, I know lots of you guys have already done this content before. Patch, what is it, 3.1 now? The patch came out maybe sometime after Heavensward was done, so like I'm playing this back to back, so it's almost instantaneous, right? So it makes the entire recap kind of redundant. But when it was current content, there was like a few month gap between the two, the start of this quest versus the end of Heavensward. So having that kind of catch up cutscene or whatever was crucial, I suppose. Anyway, before I move on, let's check it in chat. I see chat moving a little bit here. Where was I? Lim says, that fight is so good. Estinian's possession. Yeah, I was kind of shocked. I mean, I knew he didn't. One of them was going to die. I kind of got that feeling, like it was either Iceheart or Estinian, but I didn't expect both of them to be catastrophically affected. Mazidi says, do you take a request from a viewer? That depends on what the request is, bro. If you mean songs, I can't do that unlike like Twitch, because YouTube has stricter copyright stuff, and I'm not sure what the request is. So go on, let me know what it is, and I'll see if I can make it happen. No strip dances, nothing like that, I hope. Jared says, wow, more Scions. Oh yeah, somebody came back. What's her name? Y'shtola, but she's different because she was in the. Oh god. I was about to say Quantum Realm, but that was Avengers territory. Some sort of slipstream. Ether. She was in Ether slipstream or whatever. Michael says, now that you have some time in Heavensward, is there an NPC you have come to really adore? Or if an easier question, is there an NPC you've come to hate in Heavensward? I like the Archbishop as the one to hate, because the moment I saw him... Hang on, let me just get rid of this pillow. Alright, the moment I saw the Archbishop, I kind of knew, okay, this guy has a face that I would like to hate. You know, that kind of thing, because he did look like a villain from the get-go. But he had a pretty interesting arc, because in that sort of power, and when you know that you have inherited this ongoing war that's based on a lie, what can you do with it? Would you tell the people and make them unsettled and cause, you know... I mean, it's a devastating position to be in, so the path that he took, I think a lot of people like us would probably do the same. We'd keep it under wraps and we'd try to find a way to exploit the situation. And I mean, he's got us in his ear. He's also got the Scions in his ear, which is another thing I forgot to mention. So he's sort of I mean, he's not categorically a black and white character. There are some... I do recognize what the writers were trying to do with the Archbishop. I mean, it's an interesting position for an NPC. As for a Heavensward character that I adore... Well, I don't know. It could be a mix. I mean, I do like Estinian. I think he's very straightforward guy. You know, I have a job. I kill dragons. I stop the war. Plain and simple. And Iceheart is sort of, her arc goes from heretic and then to somebody who, you know, has failed and understands that what she thinks she is not. So that was interesting. So I think between Estinian and Iceheart, I think both of them are my favorite NPCs from Heavensward. And scrolling down, we got Jared as well. Hey Jared, he says, you rode a dragon. Yes sir, they give you a dragon mount. Sorry to spoil this for anyone hoping not to get it spoiled, but you are watching a first playthrough stream, so expect this to happen. Let's see, mount guide. So yes, there you go, Midgard Sommer. I mean, he started off with a pet. He was on your shoulder, if you remember my early streams of Heavensward, and the thing about him is his whole shtick is, are you worthy? Are you worthy? Warrior of Light, who the hell are you? You know, you've got all this power. He ends up stripping all our, you know, crystals, if you remember. So we were kind of underpowered a little bit. And towards the end, once we took down King Thordran, and he became like a primal himself, and then Midgard Sommer was like, okay, you're worthy. You can write me now, you know, that kind of thing. So we ended up getting him in his mount, which is pretty damn cool. We got Mr. Chi. Mr. Chibi Dog in chat says, I see that Aetheryte earring, can't hide it. Hey, you know, I pre-ordered the Shadowbringers, and I thought that 30% XP bonus is hopefully going to help me get as quick up as possible. So, yeah. Let's check in some more. Let's catch up with chat, right? Jared says, oh, my epicness. Omega says 3.1 was the longest patch gap. Ooh. How long did you guys have to wait for it? Was it half a year, or was it more than that? I mean, I'm interested to know, obviously, so, hey. And he also says, the worst patch of all time. Oh boy. Okay, there's a story here that I need to know about. Go on, guys. Tell me why 3.1 is the longest and worst patch of all time. I want to know. Mazidi says, don't worry, it's not a song or dance, of course, it's a game. Okay, go on then. What, you want me to stream a game? Hope it's not Fortnite. Alright, anyway, also, because I'm quite aware that Mazidi, you're in chat, dude, I do apologize if I drink anything during stream, because I know you're fasting this month, so... alright, let's go. Lucia. Oh, nothing happened. Oh, that's because... Yeah, I have to learn how to... If I'm standing directly in front of an NPC, I gotta turn here and click on him, because if I do it from here, I'm just gonna click my own pet, who's always on my shoulder now, which is cool. Okay, I know little of the lands these dragons call home. This annexed shrine, had you not agreed to escort me, the coming journey would seem a far more daunting prospect. Okay, let's get prepared. Yeah, I'm not sure where Y'shtola went, but everybody else is still here. So, we only got one Scion back during this entire time. And I've unlocked a few different stuff too once Heavensward was over. There was some solo content somewhere around Ishgard that had to do with, I forgot the name of it. Started with a D or something. So, what was your secret meeting about? I'm all ears. A diplomatic mission to Enix Shrine, you say? Well, I suppose that does take precedence. But shoot your meeting with Vidovnir. Yeah, this name is really gnawing at me. I know we've met this character, Vidovnir, somewhere in the past. I just cannot I just cannot put my finger on it. Like, where have I seen that name before? You might consider rendezvousing with Y'shtola in Idyllshire. There we go. There she is. Oh yeah, there was this cutscene too, right after Heavensward, where something came out of the water in that Shire place where Sid and Y'shtola were doing something. So don't get me wrong, your meeting with the dragons is terribly important and everything, but this scholar just happens to be... Okay, she didn't get to finish her sentence, so... Oh, come on, tell me! Okay. Thank you, Alfino, for ruining that moment. This could be an important thing. As for the Scions, there were two of them. I forgot their names already. I'm very bad with bad guy names. Well, there's one guy and a girl, and we killed the female Ascian, and the guy, well, he died in the hands of King Thordran, the Archbishop. So that leaves the full white-clad Ascian left, along with the Warrior of Darkness. That's right, the cutscene at the end of Heavensward also showed a Warrior of Darkness, because he referenced that by name. So I'm really intrigued by that, because I know we are the Warrior of Light, and there are those of us who fight for Hydaelyn with their powers, and then what is this Warrior of Darkness? Who do they fight for? And I remember watching the fan festival for Shadowbringers, and that's all about, well, I don't know much, obviously, because I'm a returning player, but something like we get to go play as the Warrior of Darkness or something, I don't know. But I'm intrigued by that prospect, obviously. You're ready then. Good, so am I. Let's go. What food? Okay, that sounds good. Right, I'm also leveled 63, which means I will be earning really crappy experience throughout this entire patch cycle until I hit Stormblood, because that's the way it was right after A Realm Reborn for me too. So the only way for me to try and catch up to 70 before the expansion hits is to do my daily roulettes and things like that. From Falcon's Nest, we shall cross the Western Highlands to make for Tailfeather in the Travanian Forelands. Okay, sounds good. Alright, check in chat while we go on another adventure. Jared says, whoa, dude, what was that? Roland has just subscribed to the YouTube channel. Thank you, Roland. Appreciate the support. If you're watching this stream, welcome. Jared says, whoa, that is epic. That pets are a part of the story. Yeah, this guy on my shoulder is the dragon that I get to ride, Midgard Stormir, who started the whole thing by taking away my Warrior of Light powers, and it was all about proving if I was worthy of him or not. Tailfeather, here we come. Michael says, felt like ages, was probably 6 months. Ooh. Yeah, I mean, waiting for content is always going to be a drag, isn't it? Right after you finish expansion, of course. But I'm used to the cycle, which is why I have other MMOs to fill in the gap, you know, especially when I get to jump around. But this past quarter has been really hard, Q1 and Q2 2019, because all the MMOs have made their content releases this quarter. Towards summer, which is hard for me. So that's why you've got Guild Wars 2 ESO, and then later down the line, Shadowbringers, and World of Warcraft 8.2 and Classic, all coming out in that same stretch of 3 to 4 months, which is gonna be tough juggling between MMOs for me. All right, let's go ahead and play with the Midgard Stormir mount just to show you guys what a flying dragon mount in Final Fantasy looks like. There you go. So you do get a dragon mount that can fly. I don't think I've unlocked flying in this zone. Yeah, not yet. But it's pretty epic. Lim says that pat clicking always happens to me. Yeah, I knew it would, because it's such a, it's such a common thing to just click on NPCs that's right in front of you. You do it almost instinctively, and you don't think that the pet will kind of ruin that experience for you, but sometimes it does. Alright, we're paying homage to Lady Iceheart, of course. She will be remembered not merely as a heretic, but a misguided soul who dreamt of peace. That's not how I will remember her. I think her quest had something noble about it. I don't know, but you can see where I'm going with Heavensward as an expansion. Like most of these bad guys, except from the Scions, who look like they're straight up baddies. A lot of these other characters are conflicted. They have inner conflicts that goes against their beliefs and what is right versus what is good, and I like that sort of gray area in character development. So we just came to this map for a quick chit chat before we move on to the next map. Oh, there we go. That's another dragon there, which is why I've heard of him. Okay, let's read some chat some more. Lord Emmerich says, are you worthy of the parrot dragon? I hope I am. I mean, the fact that he's been sitting on my shoulder for the past 2 weeks, I think I'm quite worthy. So I'm heading up, yes? Omega in chat says 3.1 was delayed because the team took a break after Heavensward. It added an extra month or two, can't remember, and it did the usual MSQ stuff and dungeons, which I guess you guys had already seen with 2.1 and 2.55. So I guess it did feel. Did you guys feel burnt out a little bit? There you go, Vidofnir. Hello, hello. All right, before I talk to him, I'm going to finish up in chat first. Mazina said, don't worry, you can interact, it's your channel after all. Yeah, thanks. Appreciate that. Omega says, but it was also added Lord of Vermilion, which sucks. Diadem, yeah, that's the one that I unlocked. I haven't tried that yet, although I have unlocked it, so hey. We got Seghart. Hello, Seghart says, have tried out the endgame 8-man content like Coils or Alexander. Is that in Heavensward, or is that something I can unlock down the line? Because the only stuff that I got so far from Heavensward is these three, Thok Ast Thok, which is a mouthful, the Limitless Blue, the final one, and for dungeons, I know there's a few that I can get in this patch itself, but no, I don't have anything more than that yet. I did go ahead and unlock some raids. I do have a couple of raids, but these are all base Realm Reborn raids, and I've done maybe 2, and the mechanics are hard if you don't know what the fights are about, but in terms of DPS, because everybody has the best gear now at 70 and they get sig down, it's still quite easy, I suppose. So no, I have not done the 8-man content that you have mentioned in chat, Seagart. Omega says also no normal mild primal, only Thorin X, which is I guess the second tier of difficulty. Topped it up with the screw up that was Alexander Gordia Savage, and this game bleeds subs something fierce. Ooh, that sounds rough. Light says yeah, that cutscene meant that Heavensward 8-man raid unlocked. Omega says Heavensward didn't pick up sub-wise until around 3.3 or 3.4. Which is a long way. I guess I'm about 20 quests away. Jared says, Warrior of Darkness, old love interest gone bad. I actually don't know. I don't know. We have Matail in chat. Hey, Matail says, that LKN shirt though. Oh my god. Yeah, this is a PLKN t-shirt. I served national service in 2008. So yeah, hello fellow PLKN goer. We got Duffafa. He says, I thought main story quests take you all the way to 70. It does. It's just that it will be a little slow. Because I have to finish everything first. Okay, you're welcome here in front of Yasal. Let's see what this dragon has to say for himself. He must have known Nidhogg is back. We hear his envoys of Sir Emmerich, Lord Commander of the Temple Knights and acting leader of the Holy See. Indeed, you may speak, knight. For 1,000 years, men of dragon have been locked in an endless cycle of bloodshed and sorrow. To our shame, we long believed your kin to be the architects of this war, but now we know the truth. That King Thorin and his Knights 12 betrayed and murdered the Great Worm. Oh boy. Ratatoskr. I tried. For 1,000 years, our leaders conspired to conceal this truth, a truth which was last laid bare by the Word of Light, the Adrian and Isal. Yeah, peace is within our grasp. If only the dragons could now just look past whatever crap we've done. Yet dream we must, as Yasal once did, and we must make that dream a reality as she could not. We humbly beseech you, Vidunfir, join hands with us in friendship once more before the eyes of my people in Ishgard. A most unexpected invitation. Do I get to ride him into Ishgard too, like I did in Midgardsormr? I have heard your request, knight. Oh, wait, did he decline? This matter concerneth my sire, he must need to be told, I suppose. The Nath grow bold. Isn't that like a bug people? So I guess this is following kind of that same formula with patch 2.1 of 55, where we're gonna go killing primals again. I hope that's not what it is, because we already did that during one patch cycle. I don't want to do it again. I mean, it's gonna be fun for you guys, because you guys will watch me die in trials and dungeons. Because if you are watching my stream series for Final Fantasy for the first time, there's a death counter on screen above me, above my head. And the reason I put that there is because I'm jumping into all group content without reading or watching a guide beforehand, because I'm doing it, because I'm doing it live. So I will die once in a while, having no knowledge of the mechanics. And my aim is to finish this entire stream series by keeping death count under 10. Alright, so it wasn't rejected outright, so there's still hope for this peace talk. Mayhap I should take this opportunity to speak to some other dragons. Oh, but don't wait for me. Alright. I guess now, yeah, we'll go to Sharlayan and talk to that scholar who may have information on the rest of the Scions, so let's go and do it. Alright, check it in chat real quick. Jared's just saying there's always an epic love story in companion to the large overarching story. See, that's interesting. I know from, like, I've only played one Final Fantasy, which is 10, obviously. Which I said a couple of streams back. I mean, most of the Final Fantasy games have a love arc, right, for the main character. But your main character is also voiced. You're given a voice, you're given a name, and you are playing as someone else with an MMO. I don't know. What do you guys... Do you get a love companion? Do you get a love interest for your main character? That'll be interesting. Although I don't know how that would work. Defafa says you don't get double XP from quests like you do for monsters if you're lower level than your main job, right? I think so. I'm not sure. I don't... Well, even though I've got tons of rested XP, as you can see, I don't think that counts for quests or anything. That just counts for killing monsters. So always do MSQ on main and job and roulettes on all jobs. Yeah, that's what I've been doing, although I've been doing roulettes on my main character through, because as soon as I have 170, then I can work on getting others. But right now, I just know I want my samurai to be my main for now. Okay, next up, oh, is that the Scholar? It's an interesting looking Scholar. What is that, a Pikachu hoodie? Alright, let's go. So it would seem we have time to get to this Scholar after all. How delightful. I shall be interested to hear how she means to get about finding Minfilia and Thancred. In any event, our first order is to rendezvous with Y'shtola. Let's go to... I hope I'm pronouncing the place right. Idyllshire? I'm just going to call it the Shire. Tolkien Estate can sue me if they want to with... I'm just going to call it the Shire. It's much easier. Alright, no hobbits though. It's filled with goblins. Although there are goblins in the Shire if you know your Lord of the Rings. Michael says, restore balance if you will. Shag and chat. Hey Shag, he says, well, good day to you. We got Levet in chair. Hi, Levet says, dang, nice car. Yeah, that is the Final Fantasy 15 car belonging to Prince... Oh boy, Noctis. I forgot his full name, but I just know Noctis. And it was a grind to get 200,000 MGP, which is the gold saucer points. Because I was just a returning player at the time, I didn't know what I was doing. But thank God for guides. Ah, I see more unlocks. Good. I shall come back here after the stream and pick them up. So one of the interesting things about this Idyllshire place is this is where brand new level 60 can come to trade in their Allagan tomestones of poetics or stuff for new gear. From this vendor over here. Damn it, pet! Why do you have to be in my right shoulder now? Alright, there we go. Yeah, so you can get some pretty decent level 60 gear. I am pretty much decked out in a full 60 gear, which is great for leveling or whatever, so I'm not dying too easily. And here's the cool thing. My sister got me a brand new katana, which is absolutely glorious. Because it shines, it glows, and because I've been, I guess, in previous streams just bitching about how ugly the katana looked. It was just plain, you know, didn't have any special effects, and there you go. That is one sick looking katana, and I do like that a lot. So I don't have anything, I don't have any other gear to get here. There's another cool unlock in this place that I have known prior to this, because I was grinding for MGP, right? And it's from this little tiny kid here, Chloe, who is a very young, I don't know what you want to call her, adventurer. Oh my god, I just realized she's standing on a crate. Now she's standing on a stool. Gosh, she's younger than I thought she was. I thought she was like, you know, teenager or whatever, but she's like, what are you, 8, 9? Anyway, once you come here, you'll unlock her quest and you'll have access to something called the Wondrous Tales, where every, oh gosh, ends on the 14th in 2 days, where every week or 2 weeks or whatever, completing different stuff will get you like stickers. So if you complete, let's say this one, complete Alexander, you know, one of those trials or raids or whatever, you'll get a sticker, and based on how many seals you get or how many lines you manage to finish, you can get some good rewards, and one of them includes this. You have a MGP Platinum card for 50,000 MGP, and you get 20 of them. So you could pretty much go crazy buying stuff in the gold saucer, among other stuff. So that's why this thing's pretty neat if you're coming back and you're level 60 and you want to get easy MGP, I suppose. Anyway, before I talk to Y'shtola, again, I'm gonna skip all these blue unlocks. I'll come back and do this once the stream is done and once I've put out my news drop video. For now, I'm gonna be checking in chat before I talk to Y'shtola. Okay, where are we? Midichlorian says main job means that you're top level 1, not something built in by the game, right? That is correct, sir. The first you start off with classes, of course, and then they turn into jobs, and whichever that you want to get to 71st, I guess, will be considered your main, and then from there it becomes which one's your favorite. Then every subsequent job you pick up or whatever will be your alt. Lim says, a break well deserved. Yoshi P, the director and producer, and the dev team been working straight since they released A Realm Reborn. Hey, I've heard the story. I've watched some documentaries about that. You know, I know they went through hell and back, this team, to make Final Fantasy XIV a success, so I guess you're right. Mazidi says, at least you pronounced my name correctly. Last week, not. Yeah, I just want to warn everybody, if I am bad with the names, whatever it is, in-game, MMO, NPC names, names of places, fantasy names, even your real life name, if I pronounce it wrong, that will happen a lot. I do apologize in advance. Lim says, check out the documentary on YouTube. Yeah, I watched that one, because I think my sister made me watch it some time ago. Michael says, impossible to burn out when we could do all jobs, all crafting the same tune. Grinding dungeons, raids, primals, hunting logs. Yeah, I guess that's right. When you can do a lot of it, and the thing with Final Fantasy's jobs are the mechanics, while in theory on paper they'll be familiar to you, because a lot of them involves managing your class resources. You build things up, you build combos, you execute, and you watch that sort of resource management with classes. I mean, it's not a new mechanic, but it is stylized in a way that makes it unique. I guess that's the best way to describe that. Heels Babyface did a video you want to go watch, and to all in stream who love the dev team on their breaks added hats for the 2 new incoming races out of love. Oh yeah, that article, their letter, is part of my MMO news drop, which will be dropping in maybe 4 hours from now, whenever I stop the stream and work on that video. So Defafa in chat says, I think the story is better than any other MMO. Sure. I have to be really diplomatic about that. Of course. I mean, a lot of MMOs, in my opinion, have great story. Like my main 4 or 5 that I play, you know, I play for story, I play for the gameplay because I like the combat and the, you know, the mechanics, dungeons or whatever. And all of them, I just, if your MMO has a good story, I'll more than likely enjoy it. Sagar says, those 2 can be obtained in Heavensward. They are obtained via side quests. Alexander takes place in a giant walker that steps out of the lake. So it's on this quest chain then. So I'm on the right quest chain, I suppose. I'm going to be unlocking that somewhere in here. So I haven't got to that point yet, but I am getting there. And I believe all these other side stuff should be interesting as well. Shag says, still don't have Burnout, even though I finished all the MSQ. My main is a Bard, which I've been thinking about getting a Bard, because apparently it's the most mobile class, and by mobile I mean you can move around a lot, you have more freedom, and your mechanics are kind of interesting too, because you play kind of like the minstrel in the Lord of the Rings Online, where it's about keeping your music notes up, and the different music notes you play will kind of affect the outcome of your DPS or whatever, I don't know. Or heals, depending, or buffs. Now he's leveling a rogue and excited to become a ninja. Awesome! Melee DPS for the win. I can't melee DPS all the way. Most of my MMOs anyway. Midclorin says, I picked up a crafting profession, alchemy, and it does look like the one I may enjoy, though I guess that just as with combat, I need to get more levels before. Yeah, I suppose so. I mean, for me, I haven't done too much crafting. I started off with, I forgot already. Did I check? Oh, it doesn't show my crafting. Oh, wait, it does. Carpenter and botanist. So I started off going and doing very little of it. And this was 2 years ago, by the way. I didn't see enough so I may have to go back and do that once I hit 70. Light21 says, Coils of Bahamut, Roundborn Rage, you unlock it in Waking Sands. They are very hard, so they're mostly done by unsynced people. They reveal what happened after 1.0 wipe. Coils of Bahamut. Did I not have that? Because I do remember skipping a lot of the AR stuff, because I was rushing to get to Heavensward and then finish Stormblood before Shadowbringers. So I may spend some time going back and unlocking that stuff so that we can talk about it. Defafa says, I hear alchemy and weaving are the best. Hang on, that's 10:06? What time is it? It's 10:18. Shit, I am so behind in chat. I'm sorry, guys. Alright, I'm gonna scroll down and catch up with chat so we can move the stream along. Mazidi says, it's this game based on Norse mythology. It's influenced by a ton of different mythologies so far from what I've experienced. It's not set on one thing. Defafa says, what's the best job to do main story quests with? That's, I don't know. Ask chat. I mean, I guess you could do it with anything you want. Let's see. If there's any questions related to me, I'll get to it. Okay, we're having a class discussion. Lim says, as a black mage, we don't need survivability. Kill things. Okay, now you're attempting to get me into a black mage. Jared says, that's a fitting Warrior of Light katana epic. Yes, indeed. Mazidi asks, what is your daily MMO? Elder Scrolls Online, Guild Wars 2, a bit of Final Fantasy now, a bit of World of Warcraft. So that's my main 4. And okay, Lim says you probably skipped Coil of Bahamut, which is what my sister sent me to tell in game 2. It's definitely worth doing later on. All right, so I'll keep that in mind, Coils of Bahamut, and we'll go unlock it. So maybe when I'm not rushing, sometime in next weekend stream, maybe we could make next weekend stream all about doing some raids and some of those trials, and we'll see what happens. Okay, let's move on here. Havelman, it's good to see you. I confess, had to assumed your business in NX Shrine would detain you longer. Did your meeting with Vidunfair go well? As well as could be expected. Okay, the guest has arrived. She's gone exploring, apparently. Meet outside on the front bridge. Alright, let's go. I'm interested to see what this guest is. All I remember was that Pikachu hoodie. Shag says, I just adore Y'shtola's outfit. Her new outfit seems pretty nice, eh? Actually, you know, the entire Ishgardian sort of cosmetic outfit style, like especially for, you know, King Thodrin, the Archbishop, and he's got his knights that surround him, you know, that full white kind of armor. I thought that was really, really neat. I kind of like that. So I did have a look at the optional store, the out-of-game cash store where you can buy cosmetics and stuff, and I did see it there. Now that you remind me, I should probably change my cosmetics too, because what I'm wearing right now is just the base 260 Allagan Tombstone stuff that I haven't glammed or dyed, because I'm out of dyes, and I don't have that many glams.
I'm terribly, terribly sorry to have kept you all waiting.
You need not apologize. We arrived but a moment ago ourselves. Pray, allow me to introduce Krile, who has recently come from the Sharlayan motherland. She has generously offered to assist us.
Oh, please, think nothing of it. A trip to Eorzea was long overdue. You must be the Warrior of Light. Yes, you certainly do look the part. A pleasure to meet you at last, miss.
Likewise.
And who is that I spy but young Alpha No Levieux himself? I dare say someone's grown an ilm or two in my absence. Or are those lifts in your boots?
We, Miss Krile and I met at the Studium years ago. I shall forever be indebted to her for her sage guidance.
It was no small task keeping him out of trouble, believe you me. The youngest ever to enter the Studium, him and his sister, 11-year-old prodigies. Suffice it to say, social graces were not among his list of talents. Striding up to his seniors on his first day, head held high. What was it he said again?
Thank you, Krile.
For what? I haven't finished yet. Would you care to attempt a more dexterous deflection?
Mayhap we should save this delightful conversation for a more fitting occasion, when pressing matters do not demand our undivided attention.
A bit much, but better. I can tell you have been putting your skills to use here in Eorzea. Henceforth, I trust you will dazzle me with your eloquence at the first time of asking. Right, on to more pressing matters. Finding Minfilia and the other missing Scions.
I gather you have new information to share with us.
A new approach, actually. Tataru recounted the tale of your escape, and it gave me an idea. Simply put, assuming Thancred left some manner of trail when you whisked him away, as is almost always the case with teleportation magics, I am confident I can find and follow it.
Then what are you waiting for?
The wherewithal to do it. The fact is, my abilities aren't quite up to the task. Not in themselves, anyway. If I had Master Matoya's crystal eye, on the other hand...
Then let us all call on her forthwith. I think it best that you explain your plan to her in person.
Right, interesting man. Still can't get over that Pikachu hoodie with those ears and everything. But I do like that sort of interaction where, you know, somewhere in Heavensward, we got to meet that Matoya old lady who was kind of like Y'shtola's master or whatever, and their interaction was pretty good because it gave us some sort of backstory about, you know, how things were and stuff like that. And now we're seeing something similar for Alphino too. An overgrown ambition is over here. Yeah, there's a lot of unlocks that I will come back later on. Okay, check it in chat some more. Michael says, with a third dropping in just months and weeks now. Lord Emmerich says, maturing means not making the obvious pun, but the game not being based on Norse mythology. Sorry guys, I'm a bit lost because I had to skip a lot of the chat to catch up. Levette says, is there a class that you would consider glass cannon? I'm the wrong person to ask. Unfortunately, I really am the wrong person to ask. I am a returning player myself, even though what you're looking at screen right now, that icon means new player. I guess I'm kind of new. And I've only had the 2 jobs, the Dragoon and the Samurai, so you may want to refer to chat for that information. Glass cannon class. Oh, and you guys already have. Great. Man, you guys in chat are awesome. Good on you for answering questions and helping each other out while I'm busy just watching cutscenes. Mazidi says, how many... Okay, hang on, I gotta clear my throat here. Excuse me. Mazidi says, how many MMOs have you played? Oh boy. A lot. I don't just play MMOs for the channel. I have 2 writing jobs that relies on me playing MMOs and covering them for all kinds of content, from guides to reviews to first impressions and things like that. So much of what you see me do for my own channel, you know, I also help out in other channels and websites. So I play a lot, and some of them you'll never hear or see because on my channel, because the quality is just terrible. Because sometimes when you work in, I suppose in a media capacity, your company is paid by some of these, you know, publishers to play their games, and some of them are really kind of bad browser games that want nothing but money with bad gameplay and stuff. But you know, the real challenge is, you know, the game is so bad, but you have to try and put yourself in almost a you have to get rid of any sort of bias and be impartial about what you cover and you know, produce content for it. So I play a lot of those games that you'll never see me talk about on my own channel. So a lot of MMOs. I don't have a definitive number, but a lot. Light21 says giant DPS, but need to be stationary to do great damage. Yeah, I've lost context there. Shaq says tomorrow is maintenance, so don't try to update the launcher while the game is offline. Square Enix wrote that could lead to launcher update errors. Oh, there's a maintenance tomorrow? I did not see that info, unfortunately. Well, that suits me fine, because I have to wrap up some Guild Wars 2 stuff tomorrow. And probably do more work on my ESO preview as well, which I've been putting off because there's so much to do and so little time. Tuesday, says Shaq. Okay, got it. Jared says, wow, bet you would be epic to roleplay an adventure with my sister Michael. Are you more a content creator? For as long as I've known Michael, he's been into Final Fantasy, so you guys would get along. Shaq says, lol, Krile and Alfie have history. Won't spoil anything. It will be... Okay, it sounds funny, because it did seem like they do have some juicy gossip. Kind of like Matoya and Y'shtola way back in Heavensward. I was kind of interested to learn more about that stuff. Shaq says, by the way, still waiting for World of Warcraft 8.2. Come on, Blizzard. See, the thing about WoW is there's so much hype that your community does, and I don't consider myself part of the community. I'm just a casual player with World of Warcraft. I'm a fan of the game, but I don't consider myself to be in that machine of, oh, I must finish everything on the PDR, you know, that kind of thing. So everything about 8.2 is already out there on the PDR, and places like Wowhead, where the PDR has more prominence and there's more important emphasis on the content hitting PDR and being played on PDR, not so much for the testing. Because on PDR, that's where you test and you give feedback, but it seems like, I'm sorry if this offends anybody, or if you're a WoW content creator yourself, but the WoW community is just so engrossed in PDR content to make sure that you are the first to cover this stuff from the PDR, that when the actual content comes out, it just loses all sort of its, you know, glamour and importance. And of course, because it's all about marketing hype at this point, no one actually tests the content, which is why, in my opinion, BFA was sort of a, you know, it was just a bumpy roller coaster, because BFA on a PDR, everybody saw it, nobody, whatever. This is a Final Fantasy 14 stream. Michael says, plus the amount of voice dialogue in quests is really much better in Heavensward and Stormbringer than the original Roundborn stuff. I do like the new voice actors. I think they add more depth to that, so yeah. We have Ryan Wolf in chat. Ryan Wolf, my buddy. Real life buddy, says, Neko-chan kawaii ni. I have no idea what that means. I know what kawaii means, but I don't know what Neko-chan. Are you still here, Wolf? What's up? Jared says, I know, so excited, waiting on part for my cooling system for my computer, then all ready to dive into Final Fantasy 14. Nice. Okay, scrolling down some more, catching up with chat. Ruglador, what up, Rug? He says, so many games, so little time. That is the phrase that I think we all struggle with. Krile says, you did say you were headed for a cave, did you not? Because I certainly don't see a cave nearby. Is Master Matoya meeting us on the way or something? No, the cave's, there's a hidden entrance. And back in Heavensward, to get in, there was a catch. You had to defeat some of her spawned minions or whatever. Yeah, she's gonna be happy to see us again. She's the one. See, before we got to Azizla, sorry, there was that shield dome protector barrier thing, right? And the only way that we could get in, if we had some sort of a mass concentration of ether or something. So in the end, we took Nidog's eye and we took some technology made by Master Matoya and we put it on Sid's new ship, the Enterprise Eternal. I forgot what it was called, but that's how we got into Azizla. And now we're back, and she probably wants to know how that went. Unless Y'shtola already told her. Michael says, so good, sir. Do we have something amazing from you when you eventually hit 15,000 subscribers, I suppose? Which will be amazing to see for hardest content creators in MMOs. That's a good point. I am trying to get sponsorship for giveaways, but it's not easy, obviously.
Oh. Is
Hang
that
on, I'll get back to you
trouble I
now.
smell? Or did you forget to wipe your boots on the way in?
Forgive us, Master Matoya. We will be sure to wipe them on the way out. And may I say how glad I am that age has not yet deprived you of your senses.
Ever so quick-witted, aren't we? To the detriment of your manners. Well, out with it then. What do you want?
Pray, allow me to introduce myself, Master Matoya. I am Krile, of the students of Baldesion. I hope you will excuse our unannounced visit.
Baldesion, you say? Ah, yes. The old coot set up shop on the Isle of Val, didn't he?
Regrettably, our Order's headquarters and the Isle itself were obliterated by a magic of immense power. I have the blessing of light to thank for my own preservation.
Krile, you too possess the Echo.
Well, yes, of course I do.
Oh, we have more in common.
Our Order is devoted to uncovering the mysteries of Hydaelyn and interpreting her will, particularly through the study of her gift to us. It was in the course of these studies that I met and subsequently befriended Minfilia. She and I have rather a lot in common.
I had no idea.
You weren't supposed to. Not that I wanted to deceive you, you understand, but precautions had to be taken.
Yes, yes, that's all well and good, but you still haven't told me why you're here.
The students of Baldesion are gone, and there is naught I can do to change that. But the Scions of the Seventh Dawn can yet be restored, and my dear friend found. You have in your possession an ancient crystal of light, one you call your crystal eye. I believe I can use it to focus my abilities and locate one of the missing Scions.
Only one?
And there I was, thinking you might want to make use of my years of experience. Oh, wait here.
So this kind of ties up something for me that was unanswered in patch 2.155, because throughout all the back and forth stuff in the Waking Sands,
Long did I ponder the nature of this
Minfilia was
crystal
always
and
going on about,
familiar
oh
radiance.
no, that island, oh no,
But
the
never
scholars.
did I suspect
And I was
it
like,
a
why do you
crystal of
care?
light.
At least now I know that this is a friend. So it took a long time for them to wrap up that
On the
storyline.
cusp of
Gosh.
an umbral calamity, souls blessed with the power of the Echo invariably appear. To aid these, her chosen warriors, Hydaelyn bequeaths to each a slither of her strength in the form of a crystal of light. But as her strength wanes, so too does the potency of her gifts. This crystal, born of an earlier era, is infused with a power far greater than those of this age.
You could travel the length and breadth of the land and not find a crystal even a fraction as pure. Its value is beyond measure, as are the risks inherent in its use.
No two manifestations of the Echo are alike. I, for example, can converse with beings of every shape and size, accepting beasts contrary to what others would have you believe. Language has nothing to do with it, of course. Rather, I am sensitive to the whispers of the soul. Their intent, their very essence even, the traces of which served to guide the elementals to Y'shtola. Far-fetched though it may sound, I believe that with your crystal eye, I may be able to pick up where they left off and follow the remaining trail to Thancred. That is, if I have your permission.
Well, the poor sod's not going to find himself. So, as long as you don't drop it or take it out of my sight, you may do with it what you will.
Thank you, Master Matoya. Then let us begin.
Thank you, Vasilis. Welcome to the stream if you're watching, and appreciate the support. Just going through a series of cutscenes.
From the Black Shroud, the trail continues to the north and west, towards a mountain, the foot of Som Al. It was a near thing, but he was not deposited within the rock. I think.
The hunters of Tailfeather know those lands well. I say we begin our search there.
Alright, interesting. At least we now have a goal and we know where to go and we know where to find one of them. Alright, so just to follow up on what Michael was saying, yes, we are... Ooh, repair. I know somebody was watching last week. Was it Light? I can't remember. Who had OCD because I didn't repair even though I have like only 10% damage. So I'm gonna go repair real quick in the event that we'll do any fighting. And which is interesting. I think we're in about an hour in and we still haven't fought anything yet. And Final Fantasy is going to be that sort of game, of course. If you're a new player watching and wondering, you know, what sort of MMO it is, it has its moments, don't worry. Right, so getting back to what Michael was saying, yeah, guys, we're very close to 15,000 subscribers, which is insane just saying that. It's been quite a grind, I'm not going to lie. YouTube is a grind, more than any MMORPG I've ever done. And, yeah, I mean, I wanted to do something special for 10,000, but 10,000 was such a low number when, you know, I reached out to stuff that I thought I could give out, you know, to you guys for giveaways and stuff, but apparently 10,000 was too little and too low. So I'll see what I can do with 15,000. I do want to celebrate that, or maybe I'll just wait till 20,000, I don't know. According to the data and analytics that we have, it could be 20k by the end of the year. So I don't know. If you guys have any suggestions on what we should do for 15k, let me know. You guys want a 15-hour live stream? Oh my god, I'm killing myself with that suggestion. Something else, but you know what I mean. If there's an exclusive kind of video that you guys want, or something special, let me know. I'll try and work on the giveaways. I'll try and see what I can do. Maybe I'll buy a few, you know, MMO games and give them out if I can. Because for me, I'm in Southeast Asia, obviously. So when it comes to Steam keys or whatever, I can't give that away if you're in the US or in the EU because of region laws and taxes and things like that. So I don't really have a plan. And I'm not focusing on, you know, even though it's there, people like to remind me about it, I'm not focusing on the numbers too much because that's the fast way to kill your desire and drive to create content. As soon as you start focusing on, you know, the subscriber numbers, the money, you're losing the plot. I mean, for me, it's always about the next video. I've said this many times. What's the next video going to be? What news is dropping? What can I do? What kind of content I can review? Or what kind of games I can jump into? So that's always a priority first. So I haven't really given much thought to the whole milestone thing, but now that you brought it up, yeah, maybe we should do something. So any suggestions, let me know. Scrolling down, Light says everyone knows that the healer classes are the best DPS classes. Some games do that a ton, like Lord of the Rings Online, for example. The Minstrel is just OP. You heal, and then you DPS. Your DPS line is so OP, it's not even funny. Shaq says, me too, I don't play on PDR servers at all. I don't want to spoil live client version. Mazidi says, I hope you can check out Arkfall online. Hope you can give your opinion also. Arkfall. Okay, I noted, I'll check out Arkfall. Ryan says, lol. You did not explain whatever you said there. Michael says, Blizzard, as we all know, it's dead. All founders gone, and Activision seems their customers as sheep and the $sign, nothing more. BFA just shows how uncreative they are now, IMO. And that's the sort of sentiment I've been seeing a lot of WoW players say over the past few months, and how all of them are just focused on Classic. Like, Classic's gonna be the one to save WoW. I don't know, man. We'll see. Jared says, haha, I'm such a kid for Final Fantasy, and I'm 33, divorced. Hey, you're never too old to enjoy a fantasy game or world, or, I mean, this is how we choose to escape our, life, our daily crap, so it's not bad at all. Lavette says, Neko equals cat. In Japanese, I suppose? Okay, good to know. Although I will not remember it for next week's stream or whatever. Shark says, Final Fantasy 14 is my favorite MMO, even though I started with WoW in 2006 and LOTRO in 2007, but with FF14 you feel the love and enthusiasm from every part of the game. That's one thing I can talk about with Final Fantasy 14. Even if it's sort of a side quest, or even if it's a side activity in the game, you know that money was spent on it, and the developers have given it multiple pairs of eyes before it went live. I mean, when you get a second chance at a game like Final Fantasy 14 got, you do not screw it up. And I've seen this a couple of times now with ESO as well. I've seen what they were at launch, and then when they got a second chance and they begged their players to give them time to fix their game, now whatever ESO puts out, they're not going to try and mess it up like they did the first time. So it's nice to see that, there are developers out there who don't really take you for granted. Rug says, what do you call a pig that does karate? Pork chop. I was kind of waiting for that, Rug. That was good. Jared says, cannot wait to get lost in Final Fantasy again. Scrolling down some more. Ryan Wolf says, thanks Lavette for enlightening. You lazy bugger. You should be the one to do it, Ryan, not rely on other people. Minicurrent says, wait, can it be a video game with an old as hell lady who doesn't have a body of a busty 20-something girl? I have not seen that. I have not seen an old lady in a video game like the old witch in the woods who's hot, because that would be weird, dude. Alright, let's continue here. I found myself in an unfamiliar wilderness. My first instinct would be to seek out signs of civilization. Ordinarily, perhaps, but in his wounded state, he may not have wished to risk contact with strangers of unknown allegiance, and even had Thancred chosen to reinforce, the hunters would surely have stumbled across his trail. I got a bad feeling for Thancred. I think he's been taken hostage or something like that. The only way to find out is we need to go there and see. Okay, we're splitting two pairs. Y'shtola and Alfino will go check out the encampments while I get Krile. Good, new companion. Let's go. He certainly has matured, hasn't he? Hard to imagine he was once a boy who practiced drawing for hours to impress young ladies. I'm not gonna lie, my first impressions of Alfino was not what I expected. Like, my biggest thing with Alfino is I always wanted him to change his clothes, like, and I'm so happy that they got him some new outfit that actually makes him look really regal and stuff. Alright, so what we're doing, we are showing this sketch to all these people here in hopes that they've seen our friend. Now, Ain't seen him around. Sorry. No problem. We'll find him in the end. Meekorn says she even has a bent back best game ever. Oh guys, you guys are making fun of the old lady now. Meekorn says well-earned subscriber count. She'll keep it rising. I don't know about well-earned. I just hope that you guys enjoy watching the stuff and I enjoy making it. So thanks for being here, you guys. Rug says, how do you put a baby alien to sleep? You rocket. Jared says, yeah, loving the epic scenes. Cannot wait to get to Shiva and other primals. Yeah, I think the primal fights are like when I got to them, you know, I wasn't really sort of into the game that much story wise, you know. So I didn't, you know, I guess if you're a fan of Final Fantasy, when you see the primals and you see what their names are, and maybe you recognize them from a different Final Fantasy game, you're like, oh yeah, that's cool. See, I don't have that sort of connection with other Final Fantasy games, and it's been so long since my last one anyway, so to me it's like, okay, this is just another boss fight, you know. So that's where I guess I'm kind of missing out from what you Final Fantasy folks out there may feel. Michael says, you will be 25k by mid Shadowbringers? No, I don't think so. See, the thing with making YouTube videos as a content creator, you're grinding for the most part, but it's also an RNG game, just like MMO Loot. It's on RNG. Sometimes you'll make a video that will go viral and you'll pick up like 50,000 subscribers in a day. I've seen it happen to somebody I know, so I know that it can happen. But a viral video could also mean super clickbait stuff, you know, and things that aren't really true or redundant, and that's not the kind of content I want to do. So I'm taking kind of like the long way around, but it's the journey that counts, y'all. Alright, so this guy doesn't know. Oh, hang on. With style, yeah, Thancred is all about style, so it seems like at least we know one person may have seen them. So Michael says, you will be... Oh, I read that right? Okay. Your love of the MMO genre is real, and you cover and adore the best we have. Oh, thanks. Yeah, I mean, I just want to make something real clear here. Yeah, I do cover the games that I play a lot, but I also want to cover games that I've never heard of, or games we've never heard of, so that we together know what's out there, and we know what part about that game is good and what's not good. So kind of why I said this is kind of like a variety channel, I suppose. He was carrying an axe instead of a bow. Huh, did he get a job change? We got Freddy in chat. Hey, Freddy says, hey, are you in Tonberry? Which server are you? I'm from Malaysia. Apa kabar, kawan? He says, playing Final Fantasy 42. I am on Atomos. Tonberry, I know, is the official sort of the English-speaking server or world for everybody from Singapore and Malaysia and Indonesia. And I tried getting on Tonberry, I really tried, but it's so jam-packed full I can't. But now with the whole server transfer thing, we could play together. So yeah, add me. That's my name right there, Halfling Grim. So if you're in the area, if you're my part of the world, it would be nice to be in a guild where, you know, we're all from the same region and speak the same language. So that's pretty cool. Nice to meet you, Freddy. Jared says, grid scenes, especially to the scene propers for Heavensward and the dinner scene. We got Nap Gamer in chat. He says, hey Adrian, what's up? What's up, Nap? Welcome to the stream. Mazidi says, what is your first MMO? That would be Lord of the Rings Online. Way back in 2010. It would have been World of Warcraft. Well, I suppose in some ways it was, because I did get like a 7-day free trial card for WoW when I bought the something called the Battle Chest. I'm not sure if you guys know that, but the Battle Chest is a collection of the RTS games, Warcraft 3 and the Frozen Throne. That came out sometime in 2006, I think. And when you got that, when you bought the Battle Chest, inside came a little cardboard card that says, play World of Warcraft, online MMORPG, free 7 days or whatever. And I'm like, okay, cool, I'll give it a shot. I did remember very vaguely, but that was so long ago now. But in terms of my first proper MMORPG where I made it all the way to the end game, that would be Lord of the Rings Online. What was your first then, Mazidi, and everybody else in chat? What was your first MMO? I know some of you guys have already been sharing that. Rug says, what do you call a thieving crocodile? A crocodile. A crocodile. I feel like names like that already exist in games like Pokemon, where it's just so obvious and so out there. It's like crocodile is a Pokemon. Of course it is. Current says, search Dragon Age Origins, Mother of Morrigan. Oh, Morrigan's mother is, well, have you played Inquisition, midichlorian? Because there's a big spoiler about, damn it, what's her name? Well, I know Morrigan's mother. Oh, shit. Name is not coming to me right now. But if you haven't played Inquisition, I don't want to spoil it for you, but she's something. And she's involved with someone. And it's really interesting. Flameth! Yes! There you go, Light 21, Flameth. Yeah. Rug says, what do you call a lazy kangaroo? A pouch potato. Midichlorian says, time to go. Thanks for the stream. Have fun and keep up the good work. Oh, thank you, Midichlorian. Thanks for being here. I'll see you next week. Or in a few hours if you're coming back for the news drop. I still need to edit that video first, so it's gonna be some time. Okay, so all of us have done our investigations, and we have found someone that looks like Thancred. Thancred sent a Voth to do his shopping for new clothes. Alright, that's true. When we found Yastola, she didn't have any clothes either, so it makes sense that... Well, I guess. Oh, okay, I missed that joke in there. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. So we now go to the Voth and try and see what kind of new outfit Thancred has. Azidi says, my first MMO was Kung Fu Online. Nice. Sounds interesting. Was it kind of like Wushu, Age of Wushu? Was it a game like that? Alright, let's go to Vath. Let's find Thancred. Lavette says their first MMO was Fly FF. Yeah, I've played a ton of MMOs. I'm still learning about new MMOs I've never heard of. So that's interesting. Michael says, have fun, all Germ. Thanks for the stream. Have fun and love. Oh, yeah, no worries. Thanks so much for dropping by. Rug says, my first MMO was RuneScape, which I'm sure is a lot of others as well. I've played RuneScape, not old school RuneScape. I played the newer one where it has a slightly more modern style graphics. But old school RuneScape, I tried it for work maybe a couple of years ago. I just could not get into it for the life of me. It's starting to look like one of those games where if you did not play it back when it was out or whenever it was popular, that you'll never sort of find that affinity to keep playing it. Light21 says his first ever was Metin 2, which I know about because I tried it, and I guess when it first launched it was really one of those grinders, right? This heavy monster grinding style MMOs, which was also charming in its own way. Luckily I realized it was a very bad game and stopped. There was Ion, which is on the same launcher, and remember for some TV ads. Ion had TV ads, wow. Well, to be fair, back then MMOs were a big thing. So advertising money was, I suppose, made available. Even the Lord of the Rings Online, the game I was playing, had a TV ad, but we never saw it over here, of course. It's the one where everybody was chanting free to play, and then Gandalf, or the actor, came out in front of the game shop, or it was like, you shall not pay which was cheesy and cringy, but it worked, I suppose, at the time. Lights just decided to try it out after looking up classes, and it was my first MMO, which I got to endgame and spent a lot of time playing. Nice. Yeah, Ion. I made a decision way back in December where I had to pick either between Ion or Terra to do a top 10, and I ended up going for Terra, which means I need to sometime maybe check out Ion again, because it did go through the entire 6.0 patch or whatever it was that sort of revamped the leveling, and I did do until like level 20 on first dungeon, but I stopped. Rog says the Vath, or the Vath, however you want to spell that. Jared says World of Warcraft was my first Star Wars Galaxy during the Wookiee planet. Oh, I missed out on Galaxies. I'm so upset with that. EVE Online as well, and stopped when he heard about Dust 514. Isn't that like the spin-off for EVE or something? Oh, of course, I've missed the entire story while checking on chat. Well, I just saw Ravana has returned. That's a primal, isn't it, if I'm not mistaken? Unless the Nath claim him as sacrifice. Okay, so someone's returned. I guess the primal kind of returned, and alright. At least he hasn't unlocked. What is it for? Oh yeah. That's the one I skipped earlier. Okay. Jared says World of Warcraft was my first. I read that right. Yeah, Galaxies. I know there's a sort of like a side server, not side, like a private. Well, it's no longer private. Sorry. Those emulators, this emus they call them, where you can play, you know, Galaxy again. And I'm thinking about doing that. But first, it's got to be City of Heroes. I need to jump back into City of Heroes because there's so many private servers now popping up, and apparently, definitely legal. NCSoft said they don't care, whatever. So I'm like, cool, maybe I can jump in and give this superhero thing a shot. Francesca says, my first MMO was Ragnarok Online. Yeah, Ragnarok was big over here in our country way back in the day. I'm pretty sure I played another one, which I can't remember right now. Female characters look like barbarians, though. Yeah, lost it too. Nav Gamer says his first MMO was DC Universe Online, which is a good one. Back in the day, DC had one of the coolest character creators I've played for an MMO, because with superhero things, you know, one of the cool things about DC Online was you could build whoever you wanted to be, however you wanted to your superhero powers to be, whether you were going to be a flyer as your superpower, or you know, something like that. There was just a lot of freedom to do things that you want, and then you can change you know, your outfit, leather jacket. Are you gonna look like one of those you know, douchebaggy superheroes, or are you gonna look like a proper tight spandex kind of hero? You know, it had a lot of freedom like that. It was just kind of cool. Proceed to Los Asnaf. So this is one of those things where I'm just gonna have to, it's almost reminding me of when I came here the first time and I was making my way to the trial with Lady Iceheart. Mazidi says, I don't know about Age of Wushu, but easy to say World of Kung Fu Online is like others, typical MMO, just my opinion. Gotcha, yeah. Lim says, I couldn't get into RuneScape, my first was Maple Story. Oh, yeah. I remember.
Thancred.
Okay, hang on.
It could be Thancred. We must hurry.
Not sure what they were looking at. Oh. Holy cow, it took him down? Oh, that's the Warrior of Darkness. That's not Thancred. And he's got his own party too. I recognized his weapon because that was in the cutscene. Oh wow. Uh-oh. Light versus dark. I like where this is going. Oh, we're having some sort of telepathic moment. Oh, this is gonna be good. I'm getting Kylo Ren, Kylo Ren and Rey kind of flashbacks kind of thing.
This day, we reclaim the reins of history. This day, we rid ourselves of the Scions forever.
That's a lie.
Fools playing at heroes, all of you. Is this how you believe you can save your world?
We can and we will, Ascian. You shall see. Or perhaps you will not!
That was cool. What was he trying to show us? That he was kind of like us. We had our own batch of heroes and we were trying to stop them, and he was doing the same thing on his world or whatever, and now...
So you are the warrior of light. The savior of Eorzea. It's a wonder you didn't come sooner, what with the primal and all. Lost a step, have we?
Have care. The ether moves strangely around him.
It would seem we share a common enemy. Mayhap you would tell us who you are.
Shall we show them?
That wasn't very nice. Oh, ooh, ow, okay. There he is. Thancred. Oh man, I wanted to have that moment where we clash swords. Man, this is really cool.
Not very sporting of you to interrupt. But so be it. Mark well our faces, warrior of light. For we are the warriors of darkness.
There you go.
Walkers of a different path. And we shall meet again.
Nice. Well done.
Warriors of Darkness? Really?
What's with the eye patch? Did you lose an eye?
Thancred, are you all right?
pleasantries can wait. I'd rather not be here when the Nath arrive. Agreed?
Right, so this is cool. This is like, you know, a showdown between two cliques at high school where you've got your gang and, you know, your enemy has their gang, and it's like a schoolyard fight. It's like a brawl. And I like that because for the most of Final Fantasy, you know, you're the one, you're the chosen one, or, you know, you have your Scions for the most part, but we're all fighting a god or a primal or this or that. But now we're fighting a group like us, you know, they're the Warrior of Darkness. So now the dynamics have changed a little bit. Sure, we have this primal stuff to worry about. We've got Nidhogg to worry about, but now we also have the other gang. You know, it's like the Old West. We have the Warrior of Light gang and the Dark gang. I'm gonna enjoy this storyline. I already know it because I do like that thing. It just breaks up that sort of boss fight, you know, monotony. Oh, what was that?
Suffice it to say, our reunion was not at all as I pictured it. Waiting until the last instant to join the fray. 'Tis plain you have not lost your appetite for the dramatic.
My appetite for the dramatic? Have you forgotten the circumstances of our parting? The heroic last stand, the tunnel filling with light, and then... Had I known you intended to use forbidden magics to deliver me to some god's forsaken wilderness, I would have thanked you in advance.
Thancred.
Right, so we got two back.
If nothing else, you might have warned me that I would emerge from the live stream in the Altogether.
Oh, man.
Eventually, I managed to fashion knives from some obsidian I found, and set about hunting for meat and hides. Given that I'm not all that skilled in leatherworking, it's probably for the best that I met the Vath before I was reunited with you.
The position of that little rat is just gold.
So you were the fleshling clothed in skins of whom the storyteller spoke?
A description which fit me as ill as the skins themselves. Happily, I was able to trade with the Vath for garments better becoming a man of refinement. From them, I learned of Ravana, and of the great warrior who had once laid him low.
Me, of course.
And thence did you conclude that were you to track the Primal's movements, it would surely bring you into contact with the Scions once more.
It seemed a reasonable assumption. I could think of no one else with your enthusiasm for slaying beastmen gods. Until now, that is.
Ah, yes. The self-proclaimed Warriors of Darkness. 'Tis only fitting that they stand in opposition to the Warrior of Light, I suppose.
I glimpsed the leaders past, if only for a moment. They were confronting a man in black. An Ascian, I think.
If these warriors are capable of doing battle with Ascians and Primals both, they must be possessed of powerful protection. Protection not unlike the Echo.
Yeah, that was a fun quest line. We got an old friend back, and we also found the other gang. Alright, I'm going to catch up and chat real quick. Mazidi says, when I was 15, the whole year I play MMO browser adventurer, Quest Worlds. Yeah, I got into some of that too. Like, I played games like Earth 2030 or 2050, whatever, you know, war-like browser games. Stuff like Neopets. I'm not sure if you guys heard of that. Like, Neopets were a thing back then. Online pet browser game. Which was kind of an MMO because you could set up your own shop and things like that. Jared's Dust 514 was the spin-off companion as the Boots on the Ground FPS. Yes, I remember that one. Rug says, "Oh boy, it's the Warriors of Darkness." Light 21 says, Y'shtola is cheating using astrologian skills as a white mage. Report to the GM. Well, maybe she's got both jobs and she just switched jobs on the fly. Mel says, "Oh my gosh, just noticed that." Jared says, "Ninja." Omega says he did not lose an eye. Ooh, so there must be a reason why he has one eye covered. I wonder why. Jared says, "Oh, bet he wears it for that interesting look the Warrior of Light gave him." Jared says, "Dude Leader has the world's biggest ninja daggers." Nice. Okay, I think I'm only like 3 quests deep. And I may have to call it here, guys. I did say this was going to be sort of a short stream. I need to go and work on my news drop video, and hopefully that will be out in about... Oh, man. I don't want to give you guys time. Because for those of you in my part of the world, you're probably going to bed. But if you're in the West, it should be out by tea time for you, I suppose. And then I'll go to bed. So anyway, this is where I'm going to call it. But first, let me check my in-game tell. Alright, and that's going to do it for me, you guys. So what's going to happen is, let me just tell you some plans for the next week ahead. Tuesday, which is Wednesday for me, is Guild Wars 2's season finale. And I'm going to be live streaming that. I'm going to be live streaming that whenever it comes out. So those of you that do play Guild Wars 2, if you want to see the ending, come join me on stream. We'll do it together. Spoilers, of course, but oh well. And then the following Tuesday is the Elder Scrolls Online with their chapter elsewhere, and I'll be streaming that as well. So if you guys that do play ESO, come and join me. So in the weeks between, I've got 7 days. What I'm going to do is I'm going to finish up any sort of like balance news videos that I have, and maybe some previews here and there as well. So starting with the news job later tonight for me. Just check it in chat real quick. Omega says he wears it to look attractive to women, says Omega. Is that part of the story? Will he reveal that later on? And Levette says, "Oh, I remember Neopets. I used to have an account there." Yeah. Such an old game. I don't know if it's still around or not. Who knows? But anyway, guys, that's going to do it for me. Thanks so much for hanging out. I appreciate you guys chatting it up as usual and keeping everything fun while we make our way here. And it's not that much to go. It's only like 30 more quests before we enter Stormblood. So I can assure you that maybe by next Sunday stream, I will probably already be in Stormblood. So hopefully I get the time to move things along. Lim says, "Wee was a chill stream. Looking forward to your adventure into Stormblood." Yep, you should see it hopefully again this Sunday. I'll be in Stormblood. So thanks, Lim and Levat and Omega and Jared and everybody that joined the chat tonight. If you're in my part of the world, have a good night. Have a great week ahead. Or if you're in the West, enjoy the rest of Sunday and Mother's Day. And I'll put out that news drop for you guys in a few hours, alright? So, as always, Adrian here. Thank you guys for watching. Later, everybody.